Welcome to the Hmong Women podcast. Thanks for joining us today. This is one of our Dear Hmong Women submissions that we will be reading out today. My name is Emily.
I'm Ariel.
And I'm Dochi.
And today we're going to start off with a submission by someone who is based in California. They are 17 and their pronouns are she, her. So let's start off with what they submitted to us. So, not Hmong, but I wanted advice on a relationship between me and someone Hmong. My issue is that I am Mexican American. I'm a Mexican American girl. Me and a Hmong boy have started to like each other. Everyone says that it is clearly noticeable that we like each other, but I am afraid to say my feelings to him or start something serious. A couple of weeks ago, we worked on a school project together. At my house, we were talking and we got to the topic of dating. He told me that his parents are against non-Hmong relationships. His parents have gotten far to moving away to different state to have their children not date another race, especially Mexicans. Example, his brother dated a Hispanic girl and his parents moved him away his senior year so he would not have contact with her. He told me that he does not care about the situation with dating outside of the Hmong community. He expressed multiple times that he is not going to listen to his parents as he feels pressures from his family, but I don't know what to do if he doesn't stay true to his words. Plus, I'm worried that if I choose to start a relationship, I will be selfish, knowing that his parents would move him away just for dating me. That's hard. I have some thoughts on that, just from personal experience, not from me, from what I experienced from people in my family, my parents doing that to people. But I want to pass it off to these ladies first. What are your thoughts?
Ariel?
Sure, I can go first. I wanted to say first, you're 17 and I love how intentional and thoughtful you are, because most people just rush straight into relationships without thinking about them or thinking through what they want to do. So I appreciate your response. And I wanted to say on this story, I have so many similarities because my first crush was also Mexican. But at the end of the day, like when my parents found out, they actually were crazy and transferred me out of schools. So I got transferred to a different school probably junior year. And so I understand the real consequences of having really strict parents, and better yet, having parents who just want it their way. So I completely understand of where you're scared that he's going to be moved away or that he's going to suffer the consequences of you two saying on how you like each other. But I think one thing that I did want to mention here is that you both are still minors, or at least you're still a minor and you're under 18, so that limits your ability to do things. So when I was 17, I was trying to hold a job. I was trying to do everything that I could when I was 17, like getting my permit, trying to figure out life. And so I would just say if I could go back in time and tell myself what to do at 17, and being in a situation where my parents weren't going to favor my decisions, I would say you're still trying to figure out things in this certain season of your life. And so if you can, wait off on it, just because, you know, when you are of legal age, you'll be able to do a lot more things than you can do right now. You'll probably have your own car and you'll probably be able to, you know, go out a little bit more. But obviously it's your decision and it's one of the things that you will have to decide on for yourself. But yeah, I would wait until you're 18 or when you're both 18, so that way you can also both be consenting adults and do whatever you want. And I wish that there was more talk about how there's not a huge need or no rush for a relationship, right? When you graduate high school, there's going to be plenty of other options for you. And I'm not saying that to be petty of like, oh, you're going to have a whole list of people to choose from. It's just if you're looking for a certain partner or a certain person who you'd like to date, when you go to college, there's going to be a lot more people out there for you. And there's also going to be a lot more people who may be more similar to what you're looking for. Or even if you do want to continue dating this guy, I'd say that, you know, if your paths do align and you guys are in better spots when you're 18, it's definitely worth the wait, because if you want to take this seriously in the future, I would wait until you're both consenting adults.
I don't know what to say to this because I've never been in this situation, nor do I know anyone who's been in a similar situation, because I've only ever been with one Hmong guy. But I do think that it's really sad that his parents are being like that. Because in my opinion, when your parents keep you away from what you truly like and what you enjoy, for me, it builds up resentment. It builds up anger. And I feel that eventually, if not with you, it's going to be with someone else that he's going to refuse, like go against his parents for. Because say he moves forward in life and he doesn't like Hmong woman at all, which is perfectly fine. What are his parents going to do at that point? Like they can't control him, you know? But I agree with what Ariel's saying. I mean, there's so much more life for you guys. I mean, you're still so young, and already so thoughtful of the situation and what you're going to do based on the circumstances. You guys are close to graduation, so maybe really just focus on school, really see the future for what it is instead of spending too much time focused on this. Because in just a few months, even though it feels long, I know when I was in grade school, like high school, I don't know why it feels so long. A year is forever, but it's going to fly by. And before you know it, you're going to be somewhere else. You're going to be of legal age and you'll be able to figure out if you actually want to continue a relationship together.
Two kind of points of view from my end here. I think it is really hard to think about that when, hold on, my hand is in my shirt like this. I'm recording. I'm sorry. It's just cold. It's cold. Okay, now let me start over.
Next time.
So I think it is a lot of pressure to like think about that, and like the consequences that they will face from their parents, like being moved away and stuff. But I think, as these two ladies said, like you're so young, and you're in the liking stage, and you don't have to rush into it, honestly. I mean, you guys are going to be adults in what year? You can make that decision. But also I think at some point you just kind of have to, he has to stand up for himself, but then your partner, you as the partner also have to understand, like, okay, these are how the parents are. Do I, one, want to be involved with somebody whose parents is like that? But two, am I willing to tolerate parents like that because I enjoy my partner, and I know that they're a good person? But I think, like these two ladies said, you know, you're still pretty young. I think it's okay to spend some time to figure out like what your next steps are. You don't have to rush into it, and have a solution right now. So
Yeah, I feel like this is a lot for individuals as young as you are. Like, I think if I were in your shoes at 17, I don't know what I would do, you know, because I feel that there's so much going on in your life. Your emotions are going, you know, your hormones are going, and you got all these family dynamics in place too. But I love what you said there, Emily, on really, because this is going to be, I think, good tools for you to use in the future too. Like, let's say it doesn't work out with this guy and you move on into the future. This is something to consider on, like, how, if you were to talk to another Hmong guy, would you be open to talking to someone who, if he's a ride or die and he's going to stick with you no matter what his parents say, are you going to be okay with his parents being bitter about the situation, and you guys are just going to be like, you know what, as long as we care for each other and we're on the same page? Or are you someone who likes to have, you know, I guess a more comfortable connection with his parents? Because that, for me, unfortunately, is like, it's such a big deal in my life. I know I have a lot of friends who don't care, but for me, I just can't seem to get over I want to be with someone where I can get along with his family. And I think it really stems from just, have a small family. When I think specifically just my parents and myself and now baby brother, I grew up in a tiny home, and I've always imagined like being able to share a table with, you know, his family and all that good stuff. So consider that as you're moving forward. If it works for you guys, it works, but you're so young. As you continue to grow and experience the world, you're going to change perspectives, and that's going to be both for you and for him. And that's just a part of growing, you know?
Yeah, no, that's great. I think being in an interracial relationship and mainly liking races that aren't Hmong has really taught me a lot in terms of like just learning how to stand up for myself and learning, the people who truly want to be there for me and who will accept me for who I love will be there in the end. And I think as you get older, you will start to realize like who will be truly there for you and who will also be able to accept you and your partner. So just putting out there that like I'm not saying oh just forget about it and move on, but I think it's worth like taking a second glance and saying like maybe this isn't the right time to go down this path, and maybe it's something that we can hold off on, and maybe when we're both 18 or where we decide to go like college wise, if you're going to college, then we can look back at it and see if we still hold the same spark. So I don't find that there's any shame in holding some time for both of you to figure out your lives before you move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we keep saying that you're young, you're 17, and it's not us invalidating how you're feeling, because we were 17. We thought we knew what was good in life, and that's why we're here telling you, we were that age. And I think at that age, it's okay to take the time to really evaluate what the next steps are going forward, especially since you're so close to, again, reaching adulthood and moving forward. So
It's not, because I remember when I was in my teenage years, I hated when people were like, oh, you'll understand it when you're older. And I'm 17. Like, that just annoyed me because it doesn't tell me anything. And so it's not to, I actually think you're very thoughtful at this age, and very conscious of your surroundings just based on, what you're saying here. But there is a lot left in life. And I like Ariel's point here in that you can hold space for each other. It's not very black and white where it's like we either date or we don't, and we just don't talk to each other anymore. You guys can still talk to each other, and maybe you'll realize through, just being friends until you move on into college. And again, as Ariel said, if you still have a spark there and you still have feelings, great, you're now of legal age and nobody can tell you what to do. Experience it then. But it's not black and white. It's not I'm with him or I'm not with him. There is a lot of time to experience with one another.
all right. Well, this is it for our Dear Hmong Women segment. If you have anything else to add from your own perspective, please feel free to do so in the comments below. But this was a really good topic. I really appreciate this individual who submitted it to us. I think interracial relationships are definitely something that our Hmong community can continue to grow and talk about. So again, thank you for submitting that. If you want to submit your own story for us to discuss, or just something that you want to bring to awareness, feel free to click that link to our link tree, and then you'll find the link to our Google form where you can submit there, and then we will do our best to get to it as soon as we can. Otherwise, feel free to also like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and then share with anybody that you think would enjoy this segment as well. Otherwise, we appreciate you all for joining us, and see you next time.